We're at it again with some more soap. Another Castile olive oil soap. This one turned out a little bit weird, but it still worked. I had this extra virgin olive oil lying around, and then I also had this extra virgin olive oil lying around, so I figured why not make some soap out of it? And maybe mixing it was the problem. Anyway, you'll need the lye, and I'm still using this distilled water because I have it, but you don't really need it. So first thing you're going to want to do is get your trusty scale out, tear it up, and weigh out your, what am I weighing out first? Lye. So this recipe is really easy. It's really just olive oil, lye mixed with water, and then you mix it with the olive oil and it turns to soap. It's super, super easy. So I'm going to weigh out my lye here. I'm doing a 1,000 gram batch. That's the size of my mold. And I'm going to need about 130 grams of lye. Interesting. I guess in my other videos I stopped weighing out lye. I went over and I cared enough to dig it out. So I took out 1 gram, 129 grams of lye. You better get that right. And then I'll weigh out my water. The important thing when you're dealing with the lye and water is the gloves and, not drinking it or anything crazy like that. But it's really to add the lye to the water, not the other way around. You're going to have problems if you do. Okay, so I got that first thing weighed out. And what I do is I go mix them off camera because it takes a long time for it to cool down. It gets hot. So while that's cooling down, I'm weighing out my oil. And like I said, it's going to be straight olive oil, so 1,000 grams. I poured out everything that was left in the first jug, which worked out to about 415, let's say 416 grams. And then I went on to my second jug to weigh out the rest. Now, I don't know if mixing it did something or if it was not a good idea. Really, I don't think it should matter, but from my understanding, we sell more olive oil, not we, like the entire world, sells more olive oil than is produced. So is it really olive oil? Is it cut with some nasty stuff? Is it President's Choice? Are they ripping me off? Anyway, I'm pouring it out till I hit 1,000, and that's good enough for that. So next thing you're going to want to do is heat up the oil. Yeah, look at that. This is what I think what might have went wrong. Did you see that clouds in there? I like to heat up my oil and my lye when I do Castile soap because it takes a long time to trace and to set. But the higher temp you work at, the quicker the saponification, fancy word, the quicker it sets. So I like to do it about 110 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I could usually unmold in a day or less. And I don't have to hit it with a stick blender for half an hour. So I add the lye water in, that weird lye water. Maybe it was a problem with the lye. You'll see, something happened weird with it. And just going to get it to a light trace. You could see it's just starting to thicken up. It's clinging to the stick blender a little tiny bit. And then I guess I'll hit it for a little bit longer. So you're not going to blend this to a thick trace. It just doesn't happen. It'll take way too long. So as long as it starts tracing, that's good enough. And I'll get my mold out and then just pour it in. It's weird. Castile soap it's like the easiest soap to make because it's one ingredient. It's one of my favorite soaps because it's one ingredient. That's why I started making soap. It was because I didn't like all the weird ingredients in everything, including soap. And it's one of the most expensive because olive oil is nuts. I guess there was some kind of drought or something. Whatever we're told, it's expensive, so it makes expensive soap. All right, so pour it into your mold and then put the lid on and set it aside, and it should be good to cut the next day. Now, like I said, I had issues and I thought it might have been mixing the oils, but upon watching this back to comment on it, I remembered that my lye water was weird. So you can see it set up really fast around the edges, so fast that it shrunk? Which one is it? It got smaller enough that it started cracking, and I couldn't really get it out of the mold very well. And you could see it did some gelling. You'll see when I cut it, the color's really vibrant in the middle. But look at those cracks. I have not had this happen before. It's like rock hard on the outside, so kind of hard to cut. And this is after a day. Maybe I soaped too hot, as I'm telling you to soap hotter. You can see how it's kind of having a hard time pushing through there. It's hard on the outside, but it's actually kind of... Oh, look at that. What happened to my shirt? Man, I need to get some new clothes. One of my favorite shirts, by the way. Yeah, so it's like rock hard on the outside. and then kind of soft on the inside. So I think something, probably looking back now, probably something with the lye water. I cut through it, not a big deal. The soap does get pretty hard, and I gotta say, letting your soap cure makes a big difference. With Castile soap, it's even more important. You want to go real bougie, go for like a 4 to 5 month cure, and the soap's incredible. Super nice lather, non-drying, very rich moisturizing bar. So not my nicest looking Castile soap, but how nice does your soap have to look if you're just rinsing it away down the drain? So you could see it gelled. Gelled, I guess? Yeah, but like it turned out nice. Those are some nice bars. Nothing wrong with that. It's kind of got like a sunshiny kind of thing. But see, I'm squeezing it because it's still a little soft in the middle. So another week or two and it's ready to start using. Like I said, the longer the better. I feel myself using it. I think this is after a week of it curing. Well, look at those pipes, baby. So I just take the end piece because I'm not going to be selling that one or really using it. And, doing the old flipper in the hand. It doesn't look like it's doing anything, but my hands were still a bit dry. Okay, wait for the second time around. All right. And now you start seeing the bubbles come. And, right? See? That's a good soap. And the longer it sits, the better it gets. Like I said, this is only after a week. This stuff's supposed to sit. Some people cure for a year, but I would say give it a month and you're laughing. So that's how you make Castile soap. Super easy. Give it a shot. Hopefully yours turns out better than mine.